Welcome back, everyone. Join me for a nice spring walk in the woods up a mountain and the highest point in Lanark County, the maple capital of Ontario. Let's enjoy the sounds and sights of spring. Well, we had full spring for a bit where things melted out, got really warm, and now we're back in a little bit of extra winter here. So as you can see around me, things have melted out in the forest, save for a little bit of snow. But yeah, that should be an awesome hike. It's about -9 this morning, so the trail up to the mountain is pretty vacant. I don't think there's been a lot of people here in the last few days. This is a trail I would take, you know, in the off seasons, simply because it is really buggy in the summer. So better do it now. There's a little bit of snow that I've been telling you about, a little bit left over. Looks like right off the bat I found a little wee waterfall. Oh, let's take a look. Isn't that beautiful? That's where the spring runoff comes through. Something tells me this year there's not as much melt water. I bet you at one point this was quite impressive. Got my binoculars in case we see anything cool today. Hike itself is probably going to take about an hour and 20, and I'll probably stop for a little bit of lunch at the top of the mountain. And of course I also have my bear spray with me today because bears are out. So being bear safe, I like to have that with me. The dog has a bell on to let wildlife know that we're coming. And, you know, just be careful, make some noise. I'm chatting with you guys, you're helping me out. Bears are probably pretty hungry, so generally in Ontario, they do leave you alone. Some people ask me, oh, why don't I carry a gun, this and that? Well, they're not that aggressive in this neck of the woods. They're more like afraid of you. So I never worry too much. Pretty soon the spring peepers are going to be calling. Give it another few weeks. Probably 2 or 3. These are just icing out here still. Some of the inland lakes are completely ice and snow covered. Others, depending on the sunlight exposures, you know, are icing out pretty fast. Wildlife is moving in the woods these days. Last time Royce and I were at the cabin, a big snowshoe hare, pure white, jumped out against us, which was amazing in this kind of background. See this white thing going in front of us, so that was pretty awesome. And we also had a big buck jump in front of us on a trail, probably 40 feet away, started walking toward us, and then decided that was a bad idea and went the other way. So it's pretty cool. Definitely the deers are coming out of the yards where they spend a lot of their winter time, where there's more shelter. And the does will be having their little babies pretty soon, so that'll be pretty cute to get them back on the trail cameras. Usually have quite a lot of deer at the cabin. Lots of hardwood in here, and that's what Lanark County is known for. A lot of hardwood trees, a lot of maple trees too. Not in this spot, but that's why there's so much maple production in this area. There are lots of little tiny swifts and little mini rapids in these woods. Lots of draining happening. Royce's little sniffer's going like wild, obviously. I have him on my tracker. I still really like that tracker. It works really well. I've had it for a year and a half now. It's going pretty well. The collar has a little bit of damage to it. There he comes. It's a good boy. Yeah, he pays attention to where we are. He likes to hang out. It's like his favorite thing to do. Just ahead of me here is one of the glacial erratics, which is a big rock that got dragged with the glaciers and deposited in the woods here. It's been here thousands of years. It's overlooking this landscape, covered in beautiful moss. Let's have a closer look. It's so soft. It's amazing how insulating this moss is. You know, I don't even feel the coldness of the rock. It's like -9 out, so that's pretty cool. Of course you feel here and it's kind of cold, but this is really, really insulating. Check out all the birch in here. How many of you in the comments have tapped birch trees for sap to make birch syrup? I've literally done it once and got like a tablespoon of birch syrup, but man, was it ever good. It's jet black, really tasty, really flavorful. but it's like 101 boil down. So maybe one year I'll get a little birch operation going, but for now I'll leave it to you guys, the experts. One thing I want to show you guys here is this is possibly a wolf or a coyote den. I don't think it's been in use recently, but it's pretty small, pretty kind of collapsed in, but in the past might have been used. But certainly no disturbances now. The most fun bush hikes I had was when I found a coyote den that was actually in use. It was kind of freaky. There was like snow and ice all around the front of the den, and it was dripping, and like there was breath obviously coming out of it. So that was pretty fun to see. It was a nice surprise actually. Didn't see the coyotes, got the heck out of there, but they were definitely in there because it was super cold that day, yet the ice was kind of melting and dripping at the front of the den. Usually dens have multiple entrances and exits. So the one coyote den I found at the other place there's tons of different ins and outs to get out of there. Just ahead of me, there's like a beaver pond, so probably got lots of food back in the day when they were using it. We have started the ascent up to the peak. I can feel it. Forgive the breathlessness. But this is going to be awesome. When we get to the top, we'll get to look at everything, and I'll point out some really cool features. Here we go. Half-buried acorn. We're in a different biome in here. We're in a tall oak ridge. Lots of oak leaves, a lot of red oak. I know that as these little oak leaves are really pointy at the tips. Beautiful red in the fall. Super rocky as well. These are typically what we see in this area as we head towards the top of these little mini mountains. So it's pretty neat. Lots of deer in here, obviously. Sometimes bears. I have found blueberries and stuff like that up in these kinds of woods. Not right here, but in other areas. The other kind of oak that's found up in here is white oak, which has these nicely lobed leaves. So last little bit. Well, and here's our first little view coming up. And there are the blueberries down there. Whoa, this is so cool. Look at this, guys. This is so cool. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is amazing. Look behind me. Fabulous. This is my view. Beautiful little white pine here. All the hardwoods with a little dappling of pine. Down there is a little lake. Behind here is the Clyde River. All right, picked a spot to have lunch. See a little beaver pond down there. See the lake. Piece of dead tree. Well, it's time for me to make some lunch. Let's see what I've got. Maurice is super thirsty. I've got him tied up because I don't need him running over the edge of this if he gets a smell. So I went to Cabela's before our trip and I picked up one of these beautiful, look at this beautiful color of this Nalgene. The last one on our camping trip I kept too close to the wood stove and the bottom kind of melted. So I picked up this. So we're going to have some water. I'm just going to boil some water. We're going to make some lunch. We're going to make this beef stew. It's from Mountain House. At Cabela's I bought one of the big tins that has 8 meals in it from Mountain House. And yeah, it's gluten-free. Really not super high in calories, about 250 calories for this. But it comes 8 meals, so I can kind of use it throughout the season for like my little hikes like this or camping. It's freeze-dried. And it's like really good looking. It's got the beef chunks and like the carrots and the peas, and of course the flavor mix. And it only takes about 1 cup of water to rehydrate this really quickly because it's freeze dried. Freeze dryers are really expensive, so I don't freeze dry my own camping food, but this is a really effective way to have little snacks on the trail, and you can pick it up at Cabela's. And there's like tons of different flavors, like chicken noodle and things like that, so we'll try the beef stew today. I'll let you know how it goes. Believe it or not, even though it is -9, I am sweating to death and hot after that last ascent. The hike up here took about 45 minutes. I'm really glad I brought my binoculars These are the Vortex, I believe the Vipers. No, the Diamondbacks. They're really good. The Vipers are a little bit too wide for my eyeballs. So I don't see a whole lot of birds. There is some chickadees and stuff like that, but I popped down to that little lake earlier and I wanted to show you some really cool things I saw. I can see some beautiful trumpeter swans down in some of the areas of the river there. They're waiting for water to boil, and it is so quiet out here. You can hear the ice on the lake kind of going bloop, bloop, bloop as it's thawing out, which is really cool. No wind, which is awesome because it would be brutal up here if there was a strong wind today. Look at this. This looks and smells absolutely delicious. Just gonna let this rehydrate. Ooh, yeah. Looks like Mr. Sun's gonna pay us a visit. So here there's an eclipse coming up, beginning of April. How many of you guys are gonna be out there seeing what that's all about? It's gonna be pretty cool. I remember years ago there was an eclipse, and yeah, it was so eerie. You know, I don't know if it was like a partial eclipse or something, but it got really kind of dark midday, and then yeah, and then the sun came back out again. It was really cool. So we'll have to see if I have time to go out and check out this one, or if I'll be outdoors looking at it. It'll be really neat. So Lanark is the maple capital around here. And speaking of my maple taps, they ran a lot less production this year, and I'm not running the full season with them. The taps will be pulled this weekend, but I have enough for personal use. Delicious light golden color. Probably get a bit of amber this weekend, but some people around here are actually starting to pull off some darker ones. You know, good for baking and stuff like that. Probably because as the season's getting on, things are getting buddier. You know, there's more. I definitely noticed like more niter in the maple sap, so that's sort of the mineral and stuff like that. So nutrients are definitely kind of continuing to move up into the trees, and for leaf production and all that good stuff. So yeah, this year we pulled the taps, but it was less, you know, productive this year, but fun time nonetheless. Thanks for watching my maple series. If you haven't already had a chance to go check it out, it's a couple videos back. It's a little bit windy now since the sun's come out, but this is looking pretty good. Look at that beef stew. Oh, yummy. Hungry. Let's give it a try. That is really good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Delicious. Tastes like home cooked. And rehydrates pretty quickly. So good when you're hungry on the trail. Well, I'm all fueled up. We're going to head down and see if we see anything cool on the way back. What do you got? Doing his part to clean up the woods around here, I think. Watch your knees, watch your knees! Here's a piece of rock you don't see all that commonly, but in this area you can. This is marble. Beautiful Ontario marble. She's a limestone around here and things like that, but there's a few veins of marble in and around these woods. So you can definitely see the beavers have been like super active in here. A little dam right to the right there. Chewed off a tree a while ago. Oh yeah, look at the back. Yeah, beavers are probably one of the most important animals that have changed landscapes all across Ontario and other places where they are. Sometimes they can be pretty destructive, lead to flooding out of roads and stuff like that, so they have to be managed. But no, they're pretty important. Yeah, that otter was really, really cool. It was making like this murmuring kind of noise as it was hunting there. And those trumpeter swans were a really special treat. They always fly over the cabin in the spring, and we have a resident pair that likes to hang out in the bay. Thanks everyone for joining me on this beautiful hike today to show you a little bit of the sights and sounds in the wilderness here in Lanark County. Now I'm headed off to a local maple farm. We're going to pick up a little bit of maple syrup to support the local economy. All right, have a great week. Take care. Bye for now.